Oscar Piastri has had a terrific 2025 season, a season in which he has announced himself to the world as a world champion in the making. 7 wins, 5 pole positions, 14 podiums, and he has led the championship longer than any other driver over the course of the year. But despite those impressive numbers and the season that he's had, Piastri's title hopes feel as though they are beginning to falter right at the most critical time, where the championship battle is beginning to heat up and serve us with what we all want to see, a title battle that goes down to the wire in Abu Dhabi. In just a matter of races, Oscar has gone from looking like he had one hand on the driver's title to now suffering from a mini crisis that right now looks as though it could be drawn out further if he cannot find a way out of this blip. To make matters worse, his 2 rivals that he's fighting for the championship with are both growing in confidence and consistently finishing ahead of him. They have managed to claw their way back into the equation, so it does beg the question, what has happened to Oscar Piastri? Now, I will repeat the statement that Piastri has had a superb season in what is his first year as a title contender. He's made huge strides from his second year in 2024, as he did last year from his rookie season in 2023. He's been able to work on his weaker areas and turn them into strengths, particularly qualifying, which was one of his weaknesses, certainly compared to his teammate Lando Norris. But you can see from the numbers that he has been a much more consistent qualifier. By the time we got to the summer break, there was no doubt in my mind that at that point in the season, Piastri was the driver of the year so far. No one had expected him to beat Lando as often as he had done, and in some way send out a message that he was now the clear number 1 at McLaren. That first half of the season, it was Norris that was looking like he was on the ropes and making far more mistakes, whereas Piastri was super calm, super consistent, and thoroughly deserved to be leading the championship at that point. And then when he dominated at Zandvoort and Norris retired from the same race, that felt like a seismic moment in the championship battle, because you thought that there's no way that he was going to blow a 34-point lead if he kept up the way that he was driving at that stage. I think that we all saw it as now his title to lose. Then came Monza and the whole papaya rules debacle, and that really got under Oscar's skin, and I don't think any of us could blame him for that, because he clearly felt hard done by and had every right to be, because he didn't deserve to be on the wrong side of it. Even so, his championship lead was still a big margin as they went to the next round in Baku, and I think that many of us thought that he would turn over a new leaf and firmly put it behind him. But what we didn't expect, what was to come, and it was the weekend from hell. This was the first signs, I think, of a crack in Piastri's armour, because 2 crashes in 2 days was very uncharacteristic of the year that he'd had to that point. It was a case of, was the pressure now starting to get to him because he felt like he could reach out and touch the championship trophy? And crucially, could he put this weekend behind him? Whatever we may think, fighting for your first F1 title brings far greater pressure than when you fight for one in the junior categories because of its value. It carries so much more greater significance because it's what every driver dreams of their whole life. Singapore then did show some signs of a reprieve. Oscar's pace was actually pretty strong there, but the controversy surrounding his first lap contact with Lando again really got under Piastri's skin and touched a nerve because it broke the papaya rules agreement. It's not like Oscar to hold a grudge against something for very long, but I think like Monza, like Silverstone, where he felt hard done by with the penalty that he got there and that cost him the win, this still plays in his mind that McLaren just let this one go, didn't throw their arms around him and support him like the way that he probably expected. Maybe he felt like he was being treated like an outsider. What he needed at this point was to put any bad feelings, any negative energy behind him and just start from a clean slate in Austin, but he poorly misjudged the crash with Lando at the start of the sprint race. Although I do think it was a racing incident, if you had to blame anybody, it was Oscar. He made the wrong choices and it cost him and the team badly. Even worse, his pace was just almost non-existent in the qualifying and the race. He looked a complete shadow of the driver that we had watched in the first half of the season crush the opposition. And now Max and Lando were making significant gains in the title battle. Then the weekend in Mexico, it's not one of his stronger circuits. He's not had the best results there. He's only finished 8th there in his previous 2 outings, but nevertheless, again, the pace was just nowhere, and it really showed that he's had just such a massive drop-off, particularly in qualifying. He was only 7th on the grid, which is the 3rd time in the last 4 races that he's qualified outside the top 5. He did have a gutsy drive in the race, to be fair to him. His overtake on Russell in particular was very ballsy. Could have easily have gone wrong, but he really nailed it to perfection. But he only managed P5, and that meant that he lost the championship lead for the first time since Saudi Arabia. Piastri said after qualifying, and I think that he repeated this on the Sunday, that he is not driving any differently to when he was on his winning streak. He's just slow at the moment, and that is the worst thing for a driver. When nothing has changed, the pace just isn't there. I think that proves that this slump is not just psychological. Piastri's got to find a way to rebound from this difficult spell that he's going through. He has to draw inspiration from somewhere. Maybe look at how he rebounded from Melbourne when he was on course for a podium and then slipped down the order with that late spin to P9, and how he was able to respond thereafter with that great victory in China at the next race. It does feel right now that there is a major shift in the McLaren dynamic, where Norris is now doing to Piastri what Piastri was doing to him earlier in the season, exploiting the weaknesses, pressuring him into making mistakes, and making him look vulnerable from every angle. Lando to me looks like a driver that has taken the learnings from his attempted title charge against Verstappen last year and is now finding his form at exactly the right time where he really needs it, whereas Oscar doesn't have that experience. He is now in Lando's shoes from 2024. Piastri's been very lucky that he's been able to lean on his manager Mark Webber for guidance throughout 2025, but now he needs him more than ever just to clear his mind and recapture the form that made him look like a champion in waiting. But he can't draw too much on Webber's experience in this situation, because Webber is exactly where Oscar was during his one and only title shot in 2010, and he lost that through similarities to Oscar's current drop in form, making mistakes, lacking pace where he really needed it, and not winning enough races compared to his rivals after the summer break. Oscar is not out of this championship by a long way. He's still firmly in it. He's only 1 point behind Lando. It's just that his chances are fading fast because of the way that he has blown a 34-point lead in just 5 races. Perhaps we're to blame as well for the way that we've placed so much expectation on Piastri's shoulders because of the way that he's gone so quickly from rookie to title contender and the rate of progress that he's made in that time as well. But it is crystal clear that his hopes are crumbling, and if this does continue, that he will not be standing in Abu Dhabi as the world champion. Well guys, there you have it. That is it for today's video. Be sure to like the video, and if you are new around here, please do subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching guys, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.